everyone, welcome back to Purpose and Plans. Breshana Miller here, and as always, I'm really glad to have you all here with me today. Today is just a casual conversation type of video. It is Friday night, and I just wanted to say hello and just sit back and have a relaxing kind of moment with you all. If this is your first time here with me and you just found this channel, thank you and welcome so much for stopping by. I talk about connecting to your God given vision, your identity, understanding your calling, your purpose, your capacity, and being able to live out the vision that God has placed in your life. Today, I wanted to just share with you how things have been going. It has been a week, and I'm really glad that it is Friday. Truly, I mean that with all my heart. I am so glad that it is Friday. It has been a really full week. And if you saw my video, I believe the video that I posted about my November vision, the vision writing that I was doing, like my November purpose pages. I mean, I was so ready. And I had a great moment writing writing up my vision and my purpose for the month. And I talked about doing my essential oils and taking it slow. Like it was a lot of things. And you can go back and take a look at that video after watching this one. But there are things that just went fast this in November. So fast. Like it's unreal. And I think because the holidays and having that week, Thanksgiving week, where things kind of get, the schedule changes and stuff, and trying to come back from that. And there's just a whole lot, as you know, December, there's a ton of things going on. Everybody's trying to have a party. And on top of that, birthday party. Not that it's their fault, right? It's not like they asked to be born in December, but I'm like, really? Birthday party? Like, my goodness, please spare me. You know what I mean? So anyway, but it has been a full week, and there's a lot that I learned, and there was a lot that I had to process. And so I was just going to share some of that with you because I think that it's important that as much as I talk about connecting to your vision, living out your purpose, and really being connected and rooted in who you are and who God has called you to be, I think it's just as important to be able to talk about how I'm living that, how I walk that out in my real life, some of the triumphs and some of the challenges that I go through, because I also experience, various challenges as well. So I felt like it would be just good to kind of share my side of what that can look like. When I think back, like this whole week, it has been a lot. And I'm sure for some of you, you can attest to the same that this week and maybe all of last month has just been a whammy. It's been a whirlwind. It's been a vortex of activities. And that's usually the case when you get into the holiday time. Things tend to the season can easily become a blur. And that is the thing that I am trying to not have, is for the season to become a blur. Advent season is so important to me. It is a very special time of the year, and it is my most favorite time of the year. Honestly, I love Christmas so much. So I don't want the season to be a blur, and I'm all about doing the very opposite of what I think we tend to experience. Things go fast, people get really busy, and I am just in a place where I don't want to go fast. I want to slow down, and I don't want to be that busy. I want to really soak in the essence of this Advent season and take my time and really just be present with what is going on, the reason for this season. And of course, enjoying all of the things, the lights, the hot cocoa, and the movies, and, shopping, all that kind of stuff. But making sure that I just keep the reason and keeping Jesus at the center of it, because that is the purpose of why we celebrate Christmas. So I don't want to lose that amidst all of the other things. And so, with that being said, the thing is, there are things that will come at us that will make us feel like we're being tossed and coming out of our element and everything. And I think that it's easy to get sucked up into that. And so that's why it's just so much more important that we are taking the time to pause, to slow down. Because if we don't, life is not going to give us the moment to take a break, to pause, to slow down. Life is not going to have mercy on anybody. It's just going to do what it does. It's going to life, right? So our response to that is that we have to make sure that we are staying rooted and grounded in who we are, staying rooted and grounded in God's word. Because if not, we're going to be like all over the place being frantic. And that is not healthy. And it's not what God desires of us. So I really believe that our lives should be an outward reflection of what God is doing in us. And if we're not mindful, sometimes we can not be in tune or pay attention to what's really going on and what's really important. And then that's why when we look up, we're like, oh my gosh, the month is over. Oh my gosh, it's a new year already. So I just want to make sure that I am slowing down. I think that's even part of the reason for this video is maybe to invite you to slow down with me and let's just take it in, right? So just to share with you a little bit about my week and everything, because it has been a lot, and not to labor it, but with this week, I was very tempted to not film a video this week. We went through, well, I won't say I had a very busy week. I remember saying at the beginning of the week on Sunday or Monday when I was planning out my week, I kept saying, it is such a busy week. Oh my gosh, this week is going to be so busy. And it was. And the things that I had planned on my iPad, on my digital calendar, as well as on my paper planner, well, there was way more that happened than what was planned. Like I had things planned and it was just stuff that I ended up having to do. So it was a lot. So in between drop-offs, pickups with the kids, extracurricular activities, gymnastics for my daughter, work, what else? Oh, and just appointments. Like my son, he had a dental appointment, so I had to take him there. I had a dental appointment. I actually this week I had to get a tooth extraction and a dental implant. My mouth, and that just got that like um what is it, like 3 days ago? I think this is day three. I'm on day three of recovering from a tooth extraction and dental implant. And my mouth is still kind of sore. It's like, puffy cheek going on right here. I don't know if you can tell, but my cheek is a little sore. I've been on medication. And that was another reason why I was a little hesitant to film because I was on some very strong medication. I won't say what, but I was like, I don't want to take this medication and I turn on the camera and I'm talking kind of loopy. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me give it a few days and let the swelling go down. Let me get some normalcy in my talking. And I still feel like my face is a little odd, but we're pushing through. But I had tooth extraction and dental implant done, and that's just a whole thing in and of itself. So going through that, um, and I'm also taking a course. You all may have heard me talk about a course that I'm taking. It's called the Securities Industry Essentials course. I am studying to be a like financial advisor, a registered representative. So that is a lot in and of itself. And I have been struggling to stay consistent with my studying. I've been doing it, but I've been on and off. And I really would sometimes beat myself up when I wasn't staying consistent with my studying because there's so much information and a lot of it is new to me that if I don't stay in the book studying, I feel like I'm starting over and it's a lot of information and it's all just a part of some of the professional goals that I have. So with work and dental appointments and then studying and gymnastics, all of that stuff on top of like running errands and I have to go to Target and pick a prescription and all these. And it's like, oh yes, we have dinner. I got to make sure the kids have their have their lunch. I had a parent teacher conference this week as well. So I had to make sure I had time for that, multiple client meetings. And I think on Sunday, my husband and I, actually the whole family, right, because we came back from Thanksgiving on Saturday, and then on that Sunday, we did like a massive house cleaning. It was like an entire massive home reset because we weren't even done decorating because of just so much stuff was going on. And we got the tree up. It took me forever to get the decorations on the tree when we were putting the tree. together. And this was a pre-lit tree, but when I plugged the tree in, the lights would not come on. And I can say I was a little bit upset about that. This tree is a King of Christmas tree. It is a 10-foot tree. We have very tall ceilings, a double, what you call it, 2-story ceilings. So we have a 10-foot tree, pre-lit, and the thing wouldn't light. And I was like, oh, so it's like, oh, gotta run to the store, gotta have to go buy lights. I bought a whole bunch of lights only to not have enough lights. We got to go back to the store, buy more lights. It's just like little things. And we put LED lights on the back of the TV, and the LED lights were acting crazy. And I was like, what is going on? It's like all these things are happening. So anyway, it was just a whole lot. But I'm done decorating. There were other things that I wanted to put up as far as decorating, but once we got the house to a certain place, I was like, you know what? That's it. I am done decorating because what I will not do is decorate until December 15th. Like I got to the point where I was like, I've had enough. As much as I love Christmas, I'm not going to spend the entire month decorating for Christmas. So I did what I did. I didn't do all the things that I wanted to do. And I'm just okay with that at this point because it was just so much. And I have a tendency to go overboard sometimes. And if I don't consciously pull myself back, I will just go and go and go and go and go. So I had to stop myself and say, that is enough. You're going to be content with what you have. It is okay. So, those are the things that I go through, learning how to pull back, all of the things that we just go through, and then the things that we have planned, things that come up we didn't have planned. It's been quite a bit. And on top of that, like my daughter with her schoolwork, we're managing gymnastics practice at like 6 hours a week on top of the schoolwork and being up late, helping her with her work. And I think it was just this week she came to me like the day before talking about, oh, we have this penguin patch thing where we buy gifts for family and I need money. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's 10:30 at night and you're asking me for money for some Christmas shopping thing at school. You know what I mean? It's like, girl. So anyway, it is so much. And but that's how it is sometimes. That is truly how it is. So I say all that to say that even in the midst of all of those things, there's so much that goes on, but I know that because I've taken the time to write in my planner, do my purpose pages, and meditate, it makes a difference on how I'm able to move forward amidst of all of those things. Now, mind you, that doesn't mean that I don't always feel like doing anything. I don't feel like doing anything sometimes. I'm like, I just want to be left alone. Like, I'm an introvert. I am very happy being by myself, alone for long periods of time. I'm so fine with that. I feel like I'm at my best when I'm by myself. So, but that's just how I am. So it's just been a full week. And like I said, having a tooth extraction and a dental implant, trying to maintain house, kids, home, all the things with a throbbing mouth and a puffy jaw, just not easy. And, I'm still chewing like soft foods. I'm not even eating like I normally would right now. I'm still taking it easy because my mouth is still a little bit, it's still tender. So when you go through that, and if any of you have gone through that, you understand, it's not like you have an extreme body pain, but it just takes you out of the mood because it is a very uncomfortable pain. So I managed to deal with all of that. And then there was the purpose and plans, YouTube, right? The process of filming. And I normally film on Thursdays because that's just the day it works for my schedule. And when people are out of the house, and I have like just a chunk amount of time where the house is empty and I can leverage that. But that did not happen this week, amongst other things that did not happen this week. But I was getting a little bit frustrated because I was thinking, I have to film. I have to film. I did not film my video. I'm getting behind, and I started to feel a little bit anxious. And when I recognize those things happening in me, I'm like, okay, I got to stop this. This cannot go on. But it's very hard for me to um, pull back from something that is really important for me. and something that I feel very ambitious about, it's very hard. And I had to think about that for a little bit. I had to sit with that because as I was thinking about why am I feeling this? Because I'm not here to, it's not here for like being famous, not trying to be some influencer, not trying to go viral. Like that is not the purpose of me being here. I'm here because of purpose and because of vision, because of what I know God has placed on the inside of me and how I am to express those things with people like you and others who have yet to discover me. So, I had to really sit with that because, and here's the thing, when I take time to sit and think and say, okay, let me process what's going on, then that is when I can truly hear. I hear the Holy Spirit will just start to speak to me and to minister to me, and I'm like, okay, and then it makes sense, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good then. Um, So one of the things that when I was thinking about this, when I was like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I going through this? Is because one of the things that I learned, and it's maybe something that you go through too, so you might be able to identify or relate to this, is that especially I think for women who are multi-responsible, women who have multiple roles, multiple layers of things going on, multidiscipline, multi-passionate, like multi all of the things, we are very ambitious, and we can have a very high capacity. We know I know how to function at a very high capacity. I'm used to that. I'm former military, and so I've learned over time, especially while I was in the military, I learned how to function at a very high capacity. I learned how to function at a fatigue level, at least in the military. I don't function well in fatigue now, but of course, when I was in the military, especially like in training and stuff like that, they push you to the point of fatigue and still expect you to function at a very high level. And so that was something that I had to learn how to function at a very fatigued level. Not a good thing and certainly not sustainable, but I've been at that level before. Even in my career, I've experienced burnout where I was just functioning at this extremely high level, and then I was like, I can't do it anymore, and I just crashed and burned, and was like, time out to everybody, everything. Don't talk to me, leave me alone, go away, everybody. I've been there, and so the thing that I am learning and sharing with you is that for women who, like you or me, who tend to function at very high levels and they're used to that because you have so many things that you say yes to. And some of these yeses are not negotiable. You're going to say yes to your husband, you're going to say yes to your kids, yes to, all the things that you feel are like non-negotiables. And while we are ambitious and we're driven, we're purpose driven, and we are high capacity, one of the things that will happen is that the enemy the will use our ambition against us. The enemy will try to exploit our own ambition. The enemy will try to exploit our own and our ambition for the God-given purpose that is inside of us. Use it against us and then make me feel like I'm not doing enough. It's still not enough. It's still never enough. There's always just this, you're just 1 inch shy of meeting the mark or whatever. And I could do 99 things, but the enemy will try to exploit the one thing that I didn't do, and then will make it seem like the 99 was just all for nothing. And then I end up, being hard on myself about that kind of stuff. And then thinking like, well, I didn't have the best day. I didn't have a productive day, or the day wasn't as successful, or, I didn't do everything I said I was going to do because I didn't do this one thing. But then when I look at all of the other things that I did, I'm like, why is it that I'm looking at all the things that I said I was going to do and I did like all but one, and the one thing that I didn't do, I feel like it's the worst. Like of all the things that I did, me not doing the one, like, forget about it. Everything else is just the bridge is just falling down. You know what I mean? And it's just not good. But the enemy will try to make you feel that way. It will exploit your own ambition. He will try to exploit your own desire to pursue purpose. And rather than us listening to and being clear and being okay and content with our capacity, the enemy will try to make you think that it doesn't matter what your capacity is. You should have done X, Y, and Z. So you did horrible. You're a failure. You know what I mean? Like, you could be sick. We could be sick. I could be sick. You could be sick. Not trying to speak anything on on us, but like you could be sick, and we've been there. You could be sick, not feeling your best, but you feel like if you don't do that one thing or that something, you're going to feel like, oh, this is terrible. I should have done this. And you're sick and you're still trying to do the thing. And it's terrible, but the enemy will try to exploit us for being who we are. The enemy will try to exploit our desires, our ambition, our commitment, our discipline, our obligations. Will try to exploit our desire to be the best that we can be and make it seem like no matter how much of our best we show up as, our best is never enough. But that is a lie. And God is just wanting us to just show up for him. That's it. We just have to show up. That's it. And that's why we have grace and that's why we have mercy, because it is impossible to be 100% in every area of our life. It's impossible to always meet the mark. Otherwise, I mean, we're not perfect. We can never be perfect. That's why we need God's grace and we need his mercy, because there's always going to be a gap. The Bible says that we fall short of his glory, and we do that every day. And we're not made to be perfect. We are always going to be inadequate because we need Jesus, we need Christ. And it is his hand of grace, it's his hand of mercy that fills the gap. It's his grace and his mercy that fills the space in the places where we can't, because we're not designed to fill the space and fill the gaps of every area of our life. We need to make space for Jesus, right? And he wants to be in that space. And there are some areas in our life where we may be 50%. And there's some areas in our life where we may be 75, and somewhere we're 90, somewhere we're 10. And it's not for us to judge ourselves or criticize ourselves or beat ourselves up and think like, oh, so bad. You're short here, you're short there. Well, we're short everywhere. And it's just, we have to get to the place where whether we're at 5 or 95, we have to know that God is always filling the gaps. God's grace is always there. The Bible tells us where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more. And it's not a green light to go and sin. No. And it's not a green light to say, well, just be lazy, sit back, do nothing. It's not that. Of course, we're not taking it out of context, but it's like we have to recognize that there's always a gap somewhere. And we can't strive to try to fill every gap. We just have to let grace fill the gap. Let it fill the gap so that we're not experiencing burnout, so that we're not saying, you know what, I just don't feel like it today, I quit. So that we're not becoming these hermits where we just don't want to talk to anybody and just want to shut the door and just tune everybody out. We are not machines. And that's one of the bigger points that I wanted to make, is that God did not call us to be machines. He did not call us to be these production warehouses, right? We are not robots. You've heard me say we're not task rabbits. We're not machines where we're just, creating output, output, output. Like, that's not us. We are vessels. And I think that's where we have to make sure, at least I know, something I have to be reminded of is that I'm a vessel. I am not a machine. I am a vessel. And vessels have capacities. Vessels have capacities. And sometimes the vessel is doing well, has a lot, and sometimes the vessel is not full and may not have as much. But regardless of how much that vessel can hold at that particular time, grace is always there to help us be where we need to be. It's always there. Grace is never absent. It's always there. Mercy is never absent. It's always there. And so when I reminded myself that I'm not a machine, I am a vessel. And I want to be a vessel that is available, and I want to be a vessel that is for God's use, right? Then I have to get out of this machine mode, this machine mindset. Like, oh, you have to film, you have to do this, you have to do that. There are times this week that I felt like I was being a machine because I mean, I was going, just so much. It was so much. And I was trying to hit every little single thing. I gotta, work on the budget, gotta work on um the YouTube script. Oh, I have to work on do my studying. I have to take my kids to gymnastics. Got to do the parent teacher. Got to make sure I'm staying connected to the teachers and make sure I know what's going on with the kids' school and all this kind of stuff. And, I got dental appointments and this and that. Like, it's a lot. I even had to take my daughter to a hair consultation, like doing all the things. And there's some things I have yet to even do. Still, like, have many things that I still need to do, just like beauty stuff. But nevertheless, um, even with all the things that I did get done, there are a lot of stuff that I did not get done. And, I'm having to say to myself, you know what? It will get done eventually. And I'm not going to just be so like, oh, like I'm not going to allow those things the things that I didn't do kind of just take over. I'm going to be grateful for what I did get done. I'm going to be grateful for the present. I'm going to be grateful for God's presence and His grace that He gives me every single day. I'm going to be grateful because why not? And it's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be grateful. And so I literally just, amidst all the things that I went through this week, had to do this week, I can say that God is so wonderful because if we allow Him to, He will show us the light. He will be the light in the midst of all of the chaos if you just allow that light to present itself to you. You know what I mean? If you just have your head down in the sand and you're just doing, you're going to miss the light. But if you just take a moment to just say, okay, wait a minute, I know things are going really fast, but there's something bigger here. It reminds me of the Martha and Mary and Martha story, where Martha was just complaining because she's like, we got all this stuff to do. We have to cook. We have to do this. We're hosting this dinner. And look at Mary. She's sitting at Jesus' feet. How dare she sit down and just sit there and try to have a conversation with Jesus when she know we have food to prepare. But what did Jesus say to her? He said that Mary chose what was the necessary thing. She chose what was necessary, and God said, I'm not going to take that away from her. And that's what we need too. We have to be willing to make a decision and choose what is necessary. I know people talk about, what matters the most, and I understand we all need to focus on what matters the most, but what is necessary? What's necessary is being in God's presence. What's necessary is slowing down. What's necessary is knowing that grace is there with us, paying attention. And just as Jesus said, I'm not going to take that away from her. Don't let all the other things that come at you, external circumstances, take away from you what is necessary. You understand what I mean? We've got to hold on to what's necessary, not just important, but this is necessary. It's a non-negotiable. We have to really take on that Mary spirit of, I have to sit, I have to stop, I have to slow down, I have to pause, I have to take in, I have to savor, I have to meditate, I have to pray, I have to pay attention, get connected, stay rooted, be grounded, because it's necessary. Because if not, like, who's going to give that to us, right? And so just as God said, I'm not going to take it from her, no one else is, don't let anyone take that from you. It's your right. And not only is your right, it's necessary for you to have that. So that was kind of my way of going through the week and dealing with all of the things that I expected to deal with, and then the things that I did not expect to deal with. It's been a lot, but I can say that even in the midst of all that, that I had some necessary moments throughout the week. And that's what is the most important thing. Yes, get into the dental appointments. Yes, getting the tooth extracted, like all that stuff. Those are very important things. But what was necessary is the thing that made the week all the better. I remember riding in my car on the way back home from somewhere. I have no idea. Did so much driving this week, but I was on my way back home. Oh, and I was listening to this song. I can't remember the song, but when we are allowing ourselves to be quiet and still, even in the midst of me driving and trying to get home because it's dark, it's getting late. I think we were coming. We were coming from gymnastics class. Yeah, because we do gymnastics from 5 to 8 twice a week, so it's pushing like 8:15, and we're finally headed home. And I was just listening to some gospel music and listening and just driving and just having that quiet moment, that still moment in the midst of me being tired. And I almost got into tears, not because I was sad, but because I felt the Lord's presence. I felt the Lord's presence. I thought about how God, in his omnipotence, being all powerful, how he talked to the winds, he talked to the seas, he controls everything, how he could walk on water and just do the most miraculous and the most powerful, how he could heal and save and raise people from the dead, do everything because of who he is. Yet when it came time for him to be crucified, he just hung on the cross. And he hung there and he looked helpless. He hung there with blood just streaming down. He just hung there. And people thought, oh, look at you. You did all these wonderful things. Like I say, the enemy will try to exploit us. Look at you. You did all these wonderful things. You healed the sick and the blind and the lame and the poor and the weary and the desperate and the depressed. Like you've done all of these wonderful things. You walked on water, you fed thousands and stuff. You did all this stuff, and look at you now. You're hanging on the from a cross and you can't even do anything. Look at that. But he was doing what was necessary. He did what was necessary. It wasn't for him to come down. He couldn't come down. He couldn't. He could have, but he couldn't. He didn't. Not that he could not, of course, but he couldn't come down because of the assignment. He could not come down because it was necessary for him to stay on the cross. And so he hung there. He stayed there for me so that when I was having days like that and weeks like that where things were coming and going and coming and going and life is happening and this is happening, that's happening, and all these things are going around and I'm in pain and this is. He even hung on a cross for that. Not just for my sins, like, but for everything, for our life. He hung on the cross and died on the cross for our life, right? It was necessary. Yes, it was because of sin. It was necessary for him to stay there. And when I thought about that, I'm like, we too have to choose what's necessary. We have to choose what's necessary. And so, in the midst of that moment of me driving tired from home at night, after a busy week, well, I won't say after busy, we were like in the middle of the week. The week hadn't even, like, we were right in the thick of it. And there I had that moment of like, oh wow, God. And I was just like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for what you did. Yeah, life is busy, things are happening. I'm tired, it's late, and I've still got a gazillion other things to do. Oh, and by the way, I haven't even gotten around to filming my YouTube video and oh this and oh that and oh, you know, but I had the moment where I had to say, you know what, thank you, because you did that for me. You did that for me. I needed you to do that for me. You know that I needed you to do that for me. It was necessary for you to hang there and not come down. As much as they probably taunted you to come down, but you knew where you were to be. You were to be right there on that cross, hanging and bleeding for me, for you. And so I'm just sharing that to say that when lives, you can still choose what's necessary. When you are making a decision to say, I'm going to stay rooted, I'm not going to allow things to pull me out of what God has planted me in, you'll be able to have those moments, those necessary moments. And the great thing is that it doesn't have to be in one particular place at one particular time. You can have those necessary moments anytime. Even in the midst of a busy day, God can give you that necessary moment just when you needed it. And I needed that because we were just, I don't know if it was a Monday or Wednesday, but it was not a Thursday or Friday. I could tell you that. And I needed that moment. And He gave it to me. And that moment, it changed the entire trajectory of the week. Now, granted, the week was still busy, but it gave me something to say, wow, thank you. Like, yeah, God's got this. I do not have to stress. And I could tell myself, like, okay, it is going to be okay. The week is going to be well. So I might have labored over that a lot, but that's how I was feeling. It was quite the week. And today, when I wanted to film a video, the house was full. It snowed today, and I love the snow, but that meant everybody was home, to include my husband. Even though he had to go out of town, but it was like the house was full. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like there's just so much going on." And he was getting a TV. Was it today? No, that was yesterday. He was getting a TV mounted on a wall. He got I think it was like an 83 or 85-inch TV for the basement. And so they came yesterday and mounted on the wall. And that was the day that I was going to film. And, you're hearing drills and just stuff. And I was like, forget it. There's no way I'm going to be able to film today. And then today, when it snowed, kids are home, my husband's home, he's moving around doing all the things. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to film? Um, but here I am. Here I am. So I wanted to just share with you that, like, you're going to have these days, and it's just a matter of being okay with your capacity and knowing that it's going to change. You are called, your calling is a big calling, but your capacity does not determine your calling. Your capacity does not determine your calling. Your capacity is, you're human, right? So you're going to have capacity for different things. That doesn't mean you're less called. It doesn't mean you are not walking in your calling. It doesn't mean that you're not doing a good job in your calling. It doesn't mean that. It just means that your capacity for what you are able to do, how you're able to show up in your calling, is just going to be different. It's just going to be different, you know? So that's just how it is. It's not a perfect walk. It's just a walk. That's it. It's just a walk. And we just have to remember that we are human. I know you know that, but we have to take those times to remember, like, I'm human. I'm not a machine. I'm a vessel. I'm God's vessel. And I have to make sure that that is what's in the front of my mind, that I'm God's vessel, not a machine. I'm God's vessel. And He knew all the things that was going to happen this week before I did. So it's not like, oh, I'm out here by myself. He's got me. He's got you, right? So we just have to remember that. and not allow our ambition to be used against us, because the enemy will try to do that. Don't let him use your ambition, your purpose, your desire to walk out the vision that God has given to you. Don't let him use that against you to make you feel like you're a failure, or to make you feel like you're not adequate, or you're not doing well enough. All those things are lies that the enemy will try to plant in your mind. And so to push you all the more, to get you to the point of feeling like it's not working, or get you to the point where you feel like you are just never enough, or you start comparing yourself to other people and then you think, oh, I'm not doing good enough. So many ways he would try to plant these little seeds of doubt and inadequacy in your mind, but it's just not true. And so we have to be quick to cast that stuff off. We have to cast it off. We have to um bring it into subjection very, very quickly, because if not, he's going to keep at it. He's going to keep at it. So I just want to remind you that life does get full for me, as it does for you, and my capacity changes, and just because I plan my week, doesn't mean my capacity is matching what I planned. It's just that these are the things that I have going on. And when that does happen, I'm like, okay, God, you're going to have to help me, give me grace, and sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I don't know if everything's going to work out this week, but Lord, like, here are all the things I may have over taxed it. I may have over planned. I may have planned too many things. And sometimes what I'll do when I'm planning is I'll try to look a week ahead of the week I'm planning, just to see, like, okay, do I need to push something? Because I don't want to get to the last minute. I'm like, oh my gosh. So there are things that I'm learning too when it comes to that. And I just also want to remind you that where you are right now, because sometimes I was feeling like that too this week, and even like last month. I want to remind you too that you are not behind. I think it's very easy to feel like we are not where we're supposed to be, because a lot of people will say that. I know you feel like you're not where you are, and if you believe that God is ordering your steps, if you believe that He is a light to your feet and a light unto your feet and a lamp unto your path, if you believe that um, He's going to direct you, then you have to just trust that more than what you believe when it comes to feeling behind. We can't feel like we're behind and then trust that God is ordering our steps. Something has to give, right? So if you're praying, Lord, order my steps. Lord, you know, establish my ways, direct my path, be a light to my path, then He's going to lead you. He's going to direct you. He's going to guide you. And it has to be at God's pace. We have to stop. You, we have to learn how to choose God's pace. We have our own pace. We want to run a race, and it is a race, but we're not running this in vain, right? We are not fighting the air. We're not doing that. We have to choose God's pace. We have to choose His way. And that's 10 times out of 10 usually not the same as ours. So, and I think it's also just important to remember that He's not looking for us to be a machine. He's not looking for us to be a machine. He's not looking for us to be a rabbit. He's not looking for us to be, um, he's not looking for us to be anything but His daughter. He's not looking for us to be anything except His daughter that knows how to come to Him for the good and the bad, for the little and the big. He's not looking for perfection. He just wants our heart. He just wants us to live for Him, to love Him, to obey Him, to choose Him. That's it. That's all. everything else is just frivolous, honestly. It's in Ecclesiastes, he says that, everything else is just vanity. It really is. At the end of the day, it's all vanity. We love the tree, but it's all vanity. It doesn't make Christmas better. If we look at the true meaning of Christmas, the tree doesn't make it better. Christmas has nothing to do with it, really. But anyway, so it's been a lot, but that is how I'm living out the week. And I can say, like, on a high note, now that I've chit chatted all that kind of stuff, like on a high note, I can say what are some of the things that I can say went really good. Like some of the things I can say, you know what? Yeah, like I really enjoyed that, or I was glad about that, or something. Um, One, glad about Friday. Two is let me see here. Um, so like the kids, they did their gingerbread house. That was beautiful. It's one of those times every year our kids decorate a gingerbread house. And as much as they kind of just yeah with each other, like when they do the gingerbread house, it's usually a little bit more pleasant. less less fussing and more Christmas joy, but yeah, I mean, managed to do the things that needed to get done. We all ate, laundry got done, the house remained clean, all that kind of stuff. Nobody hurt themselves, so it was good. Um, and let's see, what else? Struggling. Oh, I bought a Tesla. Yeah, it's a big one, right? Bought a Tesla. It's like amazing. That, and that's not the highlight of my week, but I mean, it's certainly something I'm excited about. I have been looking at them for a little bit, but I just have to say that car is a beast, okay? The driving experience of a Tesla is way more than what I expected. So much more. Like it's I'm speechless. Like some people may hate the cars. Let me tell you, that car is the bomb. Okay, that car is like a robot slash computer slash high performance machine on wheels. It, I'm still trying to learn the car. I've had it, and it's just so much. It's so much to that car, and I can tell you right now that thing can spoil you. I would say next to having a chauffeur, driving that Tesla is like the next best thing. That's the way to put it. Aside from having a Tesla, like the only way to take it up a notch is just to get a chauffeur. Like I don't know what else I could actually ask for in that car except a chauffeur. And I mean the car drives itself. So that's kind of like chauffeuring, but you do have to pay attention to the road. But I'm talking about like being in the back, being driven around with the chauffeur. I believe that's like the next best that's like the best thing next to having a Tesla. At least that's what I think right now. Cause I am very spoiled in that car. I mean, I'm just like, why didn't I get this sooner? So anyway, that was a really big highlight. I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for that. I'm just grateful that um I was able to be able to change, cars and get something new. So that was really nice. And so I can say also that throughout the week I had been um so with the busy week, I've been looking the way my week has been going. Be honest here. Um I was looking a hot mess. A hot mess. I was looking a way that I said I did not want to look. Okay. Um, I don't even want to know how to describe it, but I did not like what I was seeing when I was looking in the mirror. And I remember one time saying to myself, I will never look like this again. And there I was this week looking exactly the way I said I did not want to look because the week was just going so fast. And so today, on this snowy day, I was like, you know what? It's Friday and we're gonna take care of me now. And so I took time to do my hair and all that kind of stuff because honestly, when I put myself together, I feel better. I get a little bit of energy. Just a little bit of energy when I put myself together. Like, and I'm like, yeah, okay, this is I'm getting back to who I am, and I'm feeling better. And I'm feeling like, yeah, this is the person I want to see when I look in the mirror. Not that other lady who's been running around all week doing all the things. We have to so I went ahead and did myself, just something, nothing fancy, of course, but just something where I could say, okay, now I feel like I'm back to baseline, hair decent, face decent, I mean, my clothes are decent, but um, just feeling better, Um, it makes a difference in how I feel when I look in the mirror and even just when I'm just around the house, and I'm at home most of the time, but it makes a difference on how I feel about me and what I'm doing, even my approach and everything. It just changes everything for me. So yeah, that was a highlight is taking care of me. I really enjoyed that. Um, I think that was it. And so tonight, Friday night, I am going to have a little movie night. The kids and I, we're going to go watch a movie on that big 85-inch screen TV. I don't know what we're going to look at, but we went to Crumble Cookie and we got the cookies. We've already been eating them, but we're going to eat some Crumble Cookie or whatever. They can eat whatever they want, but I might snack on some more Crumble Cookie. I have been craving like stuffed eggs. I don't know why. I think I saw a video today about stuffed eggs and I was like, I want some. I do love stuffed eggs, but it created a craving. I had some sweet stuff, so now I'm craving salty, savory. So I was thinking I'm going to make some stuffed eggs. We have a few chips, like some pickles, something like that. We already have popcorn, all that kind of stuff. So we're just gonna like have a few little finger food things. I'm gonna put on our Christmas jammies and we're gonna watch a movie, a Christmas movie. One Christmas movie that me and my daughter, my 9-year-old, we love. Love. I love this movie so much. I love Christmas romance movies. I'm a sucker for them. I'm a sucker for them. And my favorite movie right now is Meet Me Next Christmas. I love that movie. It's so cute. I think I've seen it like 4 times, 3 or 4 times already. This I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's crazy. Let me tell you, when I fall in love with a movie, I mean, listen, there is no stopping me. I will watch that thing. And there are other movies that I really love that I do plan to watch. I have not watched as much Hallmark as I wanted to, just been so busy. But there are movies that I really, truly love. And I'm telling you, I love them so much that when I play them, and my husband comes around, he's like, "Oh goodness," because he knows. He's like, "Here she goes, same old movies every year," and I'm like, "Yep," and I'm gonna watch them. So, but I think I might watch Meet Me Next Christmas again. Maybe I love that movie so much. So it's just the perfect like romance movie. I just love it. And of course, Pentatonics, like you can't beat it. So anyway, we may watch that or something else. I don't know. But I'm gonna put on my Christmas jammies and we're gonna get ready. We're gonna watch TV on that big screen. So let's that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna enjoy my Friday night because it's Friday and I can say God has been good. In the midst of it all, I could take deep breaths and still say thank you. It was something. But I love that about him. I love it about him. Like he is our rock. You know what I mean? He is our rock. Life got crazy this week, and Jesus was right there being a rock the whole time. Just a solid rock. I love that about him. I love so much about him. But he was my rock this week. He kept me. He's got me. He's got you. He's your rock. I'm telling you, when life gets crazy, you had to grab hold of that rock and was like, yeah, God's got me, you know? So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to prepare for a movie night. And yeah, so all right, so I already freshened up, got all showered, skincare done, hair up, ready for the night, and we're going to have an awesome movie night. We're saying that we're going to watch multiple movies. I don't know if Mama can hang like that, but we shall see. I plan on hanging there for one. Got our snacks, popcorn. I made some stuffed eggs. I was just in the mood, and we just have random snacks. So anyway, got the jammies on, and my daughter, she's got her jammies on. Here she is all ready for, let's see if I can drop it back. Let's lower this for her. There she is. My son, he's trying to get into he's really trying. Look at him. Look at him. He's trying, he's trying to get in there. He's trying to not really act like he's trying to be in the movie, in the video, but he really is. So please stop. So me and Chloe, look at, she is just so excited. So me and Chloe, the light, we're going in, she's got a reindeer. So she's totally ready for Christmas movie night, okay? And she said we're going to watch multiple movies. We shall see. So anyways, you see she's all ready. Reindeers, Christmas jammies. I would love to show you the socks that we got. Wait a minute. We got the socks from, so we went to McDonald's and we got the Grinch meal, and they come with Grinch socks and they are really cute. I cannot lift my leg like that to show you, but I'll try to show you the socks. They're really cute. Even if you don't eat McDonald's, I don't eat McDonald's, but it's totally worth, look at her, to get the socks. So anyway, we're going to start watching a movie.